This week on the Double T Insider, we shine light on Lady Raider basketball player Minta Spears inside our Red Raider Spotlight. We learn more about Red Raider wide receiver Bradley Marquez and his time spent with the New York Mets organization. And we go one-on-one with head coach Candice Whitaker inside the Coach's Corner. All that and a whole lot more. This is the Double T Insider.
Welcome into another edition of the Double T Insider. I'm Caitlin Kravick alongside Brett Brown, bringing you more inside access into Texas Tech athletics.
In this week's episode of the Double T Insider, we feature head coach of the Lady Raiders, Candice Whitaker. She discusses the strengths of this year's squad, as well as her coaching inspiration, Marcia Sharp. That and more in this week's Coach's Corner.
Coach, you were a key player on a couple of very good Sweet 16 teams that were coached by Marcia Sharp. What coaching philosophies do you use today that you gained from her?
You know, I think that when you think about Coach Sharp, you know, I think she is just such a great example of how to build a program. You know, really from the ground up, everything that was, you know, about Lady Raider basketball was about what Coach Sharp built. And the thing I remember most about her was just that she was a problem solver. I think it was never just that's the way it is, or it was a no. It was, well, how can we make this happen? And you know, I have a ton of respect for her and how she went about things and how she treated people and the results she got here at Tech.
And speaking of which, you've got a team full of young players who are going through a bit of a rough patch right now. How do you keep the players positive when something like this happens?
You know, I think that when you focus on what you're doing and not the result, you know, and how can you get better, and you know, how can we find other things to focus on other than the win-loss record, that tends to, I think, keep their mind maybe off of that a little bit and more on the task at hand.
And in your first head coaching job, you helped turn around the UMKC team. Are there any similarities with that situation at Texas Tech? Was that an older team, or is it similarly young to Tech?
You know, a lot of similarities. Honestly, I've felt often that I've had some flashbacks of just, you know, getting the right pieces in place and building the culture the way it needs to be, and you know, instilling a work ethic and all those things that you want in a successful program. You know, is where we're at. You know, we're building it one brick at a time, and just, you know, doing the best we have with, you know, with what we have, but we need to continue to add pieces to the puzzle. And
when you were at UMKC, every player who completed eligibility graduated. Is that something that'll happen at Texas Tech as well?
I sure hope so. You know, I think there's no reason for you not to graduate. You have every resource available to you, and you know, honestly, have to try not to be successful and try not to graduate. So that's our expectation for everyone that comes through the program.
And as a coach, do you prefer playing a man-to-man defense, a zone, or do you adapt to your opponent's strengths and weaknesses?
You know, I prefer man, but we're going to adapt to our own strengths as well. You know, what you know, can we guard people in man? You know, what are our strengths? And I like to mix it up. I like to mix our defenses if we can, and but we need to be solid, you know, in both man and zone. I think it starts with the fundamentals of man defense.
And for your team right now, what is your biggest strength so far?
I would say, you know, our biggest strength is probably getting to the rim. You know, we have some nice drivers and ability to make plays when we get to the rim.
And with a lot of big conference games coming up, is there something or anything you want to tell the fans?
Oh, just, you know, what an impact they make for us. You know, when they are in the stands and they're loud and they're supporting us, it makes a big difference. Something that I remember and loved the most about playing in this program was the fan support, and I know our players really appreciate it, and it really helps them, you know, at tough times during the game.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for the Double T Insider. I'm Caitlin Kravick, and this was Coach's Corner with Candice Whitaker.
From hitting 95-mile-an-hour fastballs to catching touchdown passes at a D1 level, Red Raider football's Bradley Marquez does it all. DTI has the inside scoop on this junior wide receiver.
Now I'm from Odessa, Texas, and it's been depicted in Friday Night Lights, how serious football's taken. So I've just kind of grown up in that atmosphere, and so I've always known how important football's been, to my city and the state of Texas in general. And baseball to me is something I've played since I was 3. You're able to play t-ball and baseball a lot quicker than maybe you are tackle football. So that's just something that I've always done, and I've always enjoyed doing because that's all I knew to do for a while until I was able to finally play football. But football is just something you grow up with, and it's in your blood where I come from, and it's just fun, like I said, to be able to do both, at the levels that I am right now. In the minor leagues, it's a lot different. You're looking at 1,000 people max in the crowd, or you're coming into Jones, 60+ thousand. So I mean, that's a big change in that aspect. Especially how much emphasis a lot of us put into college football, being nationally televised and things of that nature. Where in minor leagues, it's a lot different. So you kind of have to find your own motivation, throughout the minor leagues. It's as far as motivating yourself and knowing the ultimate goal where you want to get to. Starting in the minor leagues, you want to obviously excel throughout the organization, and get to the top, essentially. And just college football, you can't help but be energized for that. You play one game a week, for 12 weeks, 13 weeks, or whatever it may be, and just the electricity and the emphasis that is put on it week in and week out is huge. And I think those are the 2 biggest differences. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're both games, and you got to go out there and play to win. And that's what I've been able to do. Well, baseball is a lot mentally, challenging than I would say than maybe football. Football is more physically demanding on your body and things of that nature, which also entails mental. But it's just kind of 2 different things. I mean, I honestly couldn't pick a harder one. I mean, they're both pretty tough, and you got to work at each one. So, they're just two different obstacles that I've had to face, and but they're fun. When you face a challenge like that, to be able to overcome it and come out successful, it's a good thing. You're playing baseball every single day, pretty much. So, some days you're gonna go, maybe 3 strikeouts, and it's tough to do mentally. But you just got to mentally recharge your batteries, get going for the next day, and you can't take that out, onto the field. Bad things are going to happen. It's just, what do you do after those bad things happen is kind of something I brought to football. Sometimes you may make a mistake. You may do something that is not the standards of this team or of some sort on the field. So you got to be able to overcome that challenge, and, and that's kind of what I've learned mentally. That baseball has helped me a lot with football, kind of mentally just erasing the bad things that happen and just going on to the next play and forgetting about it. Whereas football, just running routes and, the speed and the training that we have, I've felt like I've translated that to baseball, and, running in the outfield and catching fly balls and tracking them down, taking the quickest angles to the ball and things of that nature. They kind of help each other out, and those are just kind of 2 instances of what the sports kind of help me out, complement each other. I don't get too much breaks throughout the year, pretty much full go year-round, competing year-round, which I think is a good thing for me, just being able to compete, whatever sport it may be, just competing against another team and just having that competitive mentality and, just having fun. I mean, I enjoy it, I'm still young, and, I'm just fortunate and blessed to be able to do this because a lot of kids, or people don't get this opportunity to play college football and minor league baseball. So I'm just very fortunate with that, and I'm just thankful, that I've been able to do it this long.
Stay tuned. After the break, we're bringing you our feature on Lady Raider Minta Spears, and later on, we'll bring you our best tweets of the week. And now, here's your Texas Tech trivia question of the week.
Which current Red Raider basketball player ranks top 5 in the Big 12 in field goal percentage? Is it A, Dusty Hannas, B, Jay Crockett, C, Deshaun Kravick, or D, Jordan Tolbert? The answer to the Texas Tech trivia question of the week will be coming up later in the show. Stay tuned, because after the break we're coming back with more of the Double T Insider.
This is you. You want to be a director in Hollywood? Maybe you want to capture someone's attention on a 30-second spot. Maybe you'd rather be a social media manager, or you want to sit behind the World News desk. You can do that here at the College of Media and Communication at Texas Tech University with a degree in advertising, electronic media, journalism, media strategies, or public relations. From here, It's possible.
Welcome back to the Double T Insider. In this week's episode, we shine a light on Lady Raider guard Minta Spears. Minta discusses her transition into college ball and much more inside this week's Red Raider Spotlight.
I grew up in a small town, it's called Gilmer, Texas, and they're known for the Yamboree, which is a celebration of yams. So it was pretty cool. They have like a yam queen and a yam pageant, so that was pretty cool. And it was cool too because my dad was a coach, so I always went on trips with him and his team, and so I've always been around basketball and sports my entire life. My mom's a theater and debate teacher, so I did all of that stuff too. So I was involved in one-act play and UIL prose and poetry and extemporaneous speaking, and then I did debate. I did debate all 4 years of high school too, and then I was on, I did Model United Nations. It was a lot, and that's why I'm thankful that I went to a small school, because I could do all of those things. But it was definitely a challenge, and it took a lot of time management, and I'm just really thankful too for my parents, because I mean they made a lot of sacrifices too. And I'm from East Texas, and there's not really many AAU teams in East Texas, and so my AAU team was based out of Dallas. As far as the school size goes, it was way different. You know, there's a ton of people, and you don't know everybody anymore. But as far as being involved in a lot of different things, it helped me, because then you come to college and all you have is basketball. But with that, you have tutoring, you have practice, you have treatments, you have, you know, your class, you have all of this different type of stuff, and then you try to, you know, fit like friends and stuff in there too. So I think that being so busy and being involved in a lot of different things in high school helped me make the transition to college. I got to play in the exhibition game last year at home, and you know, I was so nervous, and I didn't play real great, but I was just really excited I was getting to play as a true freshman, and I was just really excited. And so then we had the Arizona State game, and going into that game, it never crossed my mind that, you know, going to any game, it never crossed my mind that I could get hurt, you know. And so with like a minute 50 left, whenever I did get hurt, it really affected me, because I totally wasn't expecting it, which you never expect to get hurt. But I definitely had to take some time to kind of evaluate myself and realize my situation and look at it as a positive. And now I'm really excited, because now I'm with this new coaching staff for 4 years. I like to picture myself playing and picture myself like what the game will be like. And something kind of silly is I really like to eat Nutella like before treatment, like that afternoon sometime. I'm like obsessed with it, and so I don't know, that's kind of become my pregame thing. I eat Nutella, and I listen to one of my cousin's CDs, and then I do treatment and get dressed and come out. And then you have to make sure your hair's good, so you know, you gotta make sure the ponytail's good and everything. It's crazy. Like last year I'd kind of have a moment before every game, just like, gosh, I wish I could play, you know, like, this is awesome, I wish I could just play. And so I understand how Kelsey Baker feels, you know, on the sideline. And so it's rough. And so I always had that moment and just like, man, I just want to get out there, I want to get out there. And so now that I can actually, you know, physically play and I'm healthy, I just try to make the most of every opportunity. And I'm really thankful for all of it. And I'm just going to keep working hard and never be satisfied.
After the break, we're coming back with our best tweets of the week. But first, here's another look at our Texas Tech trivia question of the week.
Have you figured out the answer to this week's trivia question yet? Earlier we asked, which current Red Raider basketball player ranks top 5 in the Big 12 in field goal percentage? Your options were A, Dusty Hannas, B, Jay Crockett, C, Deshaun Kravick, or D, Jordan Tolbert. If you don't have the answer yet, we'll give you some more time to think it over. The correct answer to the Texas Tech Trivia question of the week will be revealed later in the show. Don't go away, because there's more Double T Insider coming up after the break.
This is you. You want to be a director in Hollywood? Maybe you want to capture someone's attention on a 30-second spot. Maybe you'd rather be a social media manager, or you want to sit behind the World News Desk. You can do that here at the College of Media and Communication at Texas Tech University with a degree in advertising, electronic media, journalism, media strategies, or public relations. From here, it's possible.
Each week for the Double T Insider, we pick the best tweets about Texas Tech athletics and air them on our show. This week, we're featuring tweets about Red Raider basketball and former Red Raiders in the NFL. Junior PR student Dylan George tweeted, "The guns are up and flying high tonight. Great win tonight over Baylor. Hashtag Raider forever." Freshman Chelsea Tesno tweeted, "Texas Tech wins. 2 straight conference wins, and I'm so proud right now. Wreck TCU." Lastly, Tech graduate Holden Willen tweeted, "Tech Athletics has the most players in the Super Bowl of any Big 12 conference university. Just saying, hashtag wreck 'em and hashtag guns up." Check back with us next week for more tweets, when your tweet might just be the one chosen.
With another week in the books, let's take a look at the upcoming games in Texas Tech athletics.
On Tuesday, Red Raider basketball will be on the road in Manhattan, Kansas to take on 22nd ranked Kansas State. Tech is looking to avenge 2 close losses to Kansas State last season. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. on the Big 12 Network. On Wednesday, Lady Raider basketball travels to Waco to play number 12 Baylor. Tip-off is 7 p.m. Texas Tech men's tennis takes on Mississippi State at the McLeod Tennis Center at 2 p.m. on Friday. Track and field will host and compete in the Master Rider Open Friday and Saturday. Events are scheduled to last all day during the duration of the Open. Saturday is a full day for Tech athletics. Number 18 Lady Raider Tennis is going on the road to take on SMU. First serve is set for noon. Red Raider basketball will take on TCU at the United Spirit Arena as part of a men's-women's doubleheader. Tech is looking to win its 4th straight game against TCU since TCU entered the Big 12 Conference. Tip-off is set for 12:30 p.m. and can be seen on the Big 12 Network. Lady Raider basketball will also be at the USA Saturday to take on Kansas. The Lady Raiders are looking to avenge a loss to Kansas from earlier in the season. The game will start at 4 p.m. and can be seen on Fox Sports Southwest. On Sunday, Red Raider Tennis ends their homestand and will play Rice at the McLeod Tennis Center. First serve is set for 1 p.m.
And finally, here's the answer to the Texas Tech trivia question of the week.
It's time to reveal the answer to the Texas Tech trivia question of the week. Earlier we asked, which current Red Raider basketball player ranks top 5 in the Big 12 in field goal percentage? Your options were A, Dusty Hannas, B, Jay Crockett, C, Deshaun Kravick, or D, Jordan Tolbert. The correct answer is D, Jordan Tolbert. Red Raider basketball player Jordan Tolbert has a current field goal percentage of 58%, giving him a 4th place ranking in the Big 12. This has been your Texas Tech trivia question of the week. If you didn't get this week's question right, no worries. Next week we'll be back with more Texas Tech trivia, along with another edition of the Double T Insider.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Double T Insider. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to tune in on Wednesday for our DTI weekly update on Texas Tech athletics.
And as always, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and go to youtube.com/Double T Insider to watch all of our episodes. For Caitlin Kravick, I'm Brett Brown. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.